Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new video. Today's topic is gonna be how G2 managed to snowball the game in their game against Fnatic. I think that this game is really interesting since we can see the strength of G2 and how well their macro play is. They've managed to put the bot lane ahead in the game and completely play through them and basically even ignoring the rest of the lanes in order to make the bot lane stronger. I think this is really interesting, so without further ado, let's just jump into this video. Oh yeah, and if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a subscribe. Alright, now that we have this out of the way, let's go into that. A few words about the matchup. I think that Jinx and Thresh have the upper hand in the lane until level 3 probably, since usually you have the higher range. Braum is really, Braum is a melee champion and Thresh is a range champion, which gives, by default the upper hand to Thresh. Jinx has a higher range with the rockets, so I think that in general at the early game, Fnatic should be able to pressure them, poke them in, and maybe get a CS lead. Now after level 3, this gets more difficult since the all-in potential of a Braum and Lucian is really high. So let's get into this. This is really interesting level 1 tactics here. We can see that Ornn is hiding in this dragon pit, and usually you don't expect this from the top laner, right? The top laner is hiding in there, and yeah, I think the first mistake happens right now, where post this replay, I've actually edited this myself and just have the highlights into in this. So we can see that Hylissang right now, he's going for the hook. He skilled his hook at level 1, which is going to have a deficit in the laning phase, since he will not have as much poke as he would have if he went for the E. But it's really worth for, if you manage to get a summoner spell out of this, or maybe even a kill at level 1. Now we can see that he's going for the hook here. Ornn is still waiting in this dragon pit, so I think the right thing to do from Hylissang is to go from the Thresh here, is to go towards the Lucian, try to bait the Braum, like pretend that he's ignoring Braum, just focus on the Lucian, and when Braum comes into the range of Ornn, they could collapse on the Braum with the hook together, and the Ornn slow. And if he gets caught right there in the middle of the river, there's no way he's escaping. So I think that this could have been, or without a flash, no way of escaping without a flash. So I think this could have been worth. Now we can see that the problematic here is that Thresh does not have his hook, and this would have been a really good situation right now, especially where the hook would have been so important for either getting the kill or a summoner spell out of this. And if you look at the time, it's pretty late already, and Ornn has to walk all the way up to the top side, which is going to put more pressure onto Ornn as well, and he's going to have a disadvantage since the level 1 play took a bit too long, longer than they would like it to be, without really getting anything out of it other than Braum using his potion. Alright, now that I think this is an interesting situation. Of course, this is kind of, I'm going very, very into detail, but I think in higher elo, or especially in pro play, you have to make sure that you get the edge of the enemy, get every possible damage output that you can. And right now we see that Perkz is staying between the wall and the turret, and the problem that I have right now is that this is the perfect situation for a support player to go for the hook here, since Perkz will never be able to dodge this. And yeah, Hylissang is doing it way too late. He's not positioning himself correctly, and the minions end up blocking the hook, which is, these kind of smaller things can be really important, especially in pro play. If Perkz were being, if the hook landed on Perkz, Fnatic would have been able to poke him down and chunk a lot of HP off. So yeah, I think every little damage matters. And as I mentioned, Fnatic has the upper hand in the early game. They are able to push them in. G2 is not able to trade with them since they have the range advantage, and Fnatic is just more wave clear with which results in them having more CS than Perkz. The only problem that you have as a Thresh and Jinx is when they all in on you, since they have more damage early game, and we can see that right now. Braum lands a Q here, and this is crucial. If you play against Braum Lucian, you cannot get hit by the Q, Braum Q, since that will allow the Lucian, who's really fast auto attacking champion with a double auto attack with a passive, to proc the passive stacks really fast. And we see that Hylissang is going for the fly here. He's trying to trade a little bit of damage, maybe proc his aftershock. It was on cooldown, I think, and he's not really respecting the damage. He's not flashing away, so he ends up being stunned. I think this is the biggest mistake here. And Reckless as a Jinx, you can't really do much here since Mickey X had his shield up and Guardian procced as well. He can't really trade with him. There's nothing that Reckless could have done there. Hylissang was basically, you know, just waiting for his death there. There was not much that Reckless could have done, other than maybe instead of going for the W, maybe he could have skilled the traps in order to stop them from engaging on Hylissang. You know, Perk still had his flash up, so I think that wouldn't have changed too much here in this situation. So this is kind of the point where the laning phase turns from Fnatic's dominance into G2's dominance. This is after level 3, and Braum is really strong after this, since he has all his abilities available, and Lucian and Braum, they can just really easily engage on the fight. Now we see that Jankos is playing around the bottom side. The first dragon is an Infernal Drake as well. This is why this bot lane is so good. Having Braum Lucian, and if they have the advantage in the lane, it's just really nice. The jungler can do whatever he wants to. G2's bot lane is pushing in, and they're trading really well. They have Lucian as lifesteal as well, so even if he does unfavorable trade, he will be able to heal up again. And we can see that Jankos is playing around the bot side, since he knows that if anything happens, we can see it on the minimap right now, G2 just pushes the wave in and moves to the jungle in order to assist Jankos if he encounters the Lee Sin. And I think this is beautiful, really played, really well played by G2, and playing around the strength, and, you know, going for the dragon, going for the pressure at the bottom lane. And, you know, Fnatic's response to this is kind of interesting, since Broxar is not really playing around the bottom side. He's going to gank mid lane and top lane. He's going to get kills. The problem here is that, you know, Lucian Braum, they will just snowball out of this lane way too hard. Now, this is really crucial. This scenario, this point right here, I think is what kind of determines the Fnatic's fate here. Jankos is level 5. He's coming for the gank. He's being spotted because there's a control ward, and Perks is level 6 already as well. Hylissang is going for the hook here, which I think is a mistake. He should have, hold on to the hook for the moment when the dive comes in, and he gets hit by the Braum Q, which will eventually result in him dying, because there's no way he is escaping. He doesn't have flash. He just used his hook. There's nothing that he could have done. I think it's fine for him to just go in and try to fly the Lucian. Mickey X did this really beautifully. He tanked the turret, and we can see that right now again. Mickey X keeps tanking the turret. This is really well played by him. If he went out of the turret range, Perks would have died. So I think this is amazing. Really well team played. And now the interesting part is where Reckless is not running away. He's staying in range of Jankos. We can see him, he's really disrespecting. He's walking towards the turret again. And we see that Jankos is level 6 and he's being spotted by a ward. So I think this is a really huge mistake by Reckless to just not run away. He had flash and heal up, so I think that he could have survived there. I think that he used heal before when Hylissang died, but he had flash up, so he could have survived if he ran away earlier. So the fact that he stayed, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have just died against Olaf. Olaf would have been able to dive him onto the 2-2 turret as well. So I think that, this is how well G2 executes their strength. The bot lane is poking. There's G2's bot lane is poking Fnatic down. Jankos comes in for the dive. They manage to get the kill. Managed to get objectives like the Infernal Dragon, and managed to get turret plantings, which is really important. The lead has been gone up to 40k already, and is only 9 minutes into this game. Now we can see the another important point here is that we can see how afraid Hylissang, or how afraid Fnatic's bot lane is of G2's bot lane. Perks is using his ultimate, and Hylissang is dodging the shots rather than tanking them for Reckless. And this is really well played by Perks. He's reading Reckless's movement brilliantly and executing his ultimate so well that Reckless is so low in HP right now. I think that Hylissing should have tanked, the calling shots, because Reckless is being put under immense pressure, especially if he's being low on HP. But I mean, who can blame Hylissing for that? I would have been afraid of as well if I've already died 2 times and Lucian is being fed as hell. All right, now we see that, G2 is playing really perfectly. They're going in, refreshing the D boards here, securing the Scuttle Crab, and completely playing around the bot side. We have seen Jankos playing around bot side so much, and Bruxa has decided to, gank top and mid lane, which I think is really problematic. Because, Fnatic would have needed that support on the bottom lane. They've been outplayed on the macro scale in this game, and I think it wasn't a hopeless game. And we can see the brilliant, the amazing mechanics of Perks here. He's going in for the traits. He's not afraid. I mean, if he gets hooked right here, he might actually die. And I mean, he has flash and heal up, but that would have been so bad by him if he gets hooked and flayed under the turret. He would have tanked so much damage and possibly even died. And we can see that he trusts his abilities and just simply dodges that one. And then even flashes under the turret to go for the kill. I mean, this is so well played by Perks. This is insane. It's just another level, I think. And something that I didn't really understand when I watched this replay is that why G2 didn't really dive the Hylissing here. Hylissing is really low on HP. Braum has Ignite and ulti up, and Hylissing was, I think, at 15 or 15% HP probably. They could have gone for the dive. I think it would have worked out. They do it the safe way. They they leave the turret. They go for the platings. They have their game plan. They know that Jankos is gonna come again. They trust in their jungler, which I think is a good thing to do, unless it's in solo queue. All right, so they know what to do. They don't overstay. They don't overdo it. And now we come to the biggest point of the game, where I think all starts with this little mid lane fight. We see the bubble, Zoe's bubble, hitting Nemesis here. I think Nemesis could have easily dodged that one. He doesn't respect the range of the bubble when it falls to the ground. And he gets chunked. We can't see it right now on the screen, but we see it on the icon here. He gets chunked down to below 50% HP, and this is crucial because remember, he has teleport, and a play is going to start at the bottom lane. They're going to be dived or to be doven. We see that Jankos is being spotted by wards as well. So this would technically give enough time to a Nemesis, the Lysandre player, to teleport to the bottom lane. Because of the trade, however, he needs to walk back. He can't really stay close to the Zoe since she will interrupt the teleport with her bubble. So Nemesis has to walk far away from the turret. We see that on the minimap right now. He walks away from the turret, still walks away from Zoe. And this is the point where he could have TP'd. So I think it's just crucial, really, really well played by Cabs to pressure him that much so he can't help his team out here. And this is amazing macro play through G2's side here. I think Jankos could have gone for Hylissing first and clean up Reckless afterwards, since Reckless is super weak right now. He's not a threat. But he decides to just kill Reckless and without having a big issue here. Now, the TP comes in way too late. I think this is really wasted. There's no point of him doing a difference here, especially coming in that low. G2 gets to kill Lucian. I mean, Fnatic gets to kill Lucian. Bruxa gets the kill here, and he gets picked off. And yeah, I think in general, this was really well played by G2 with the pressure in the mid lane and going for the dive. They were super ahead in the bottom lane. I think it was a really worth trade. They got 3 kills and a turret, and this is going to be the 4th kill, and only lost 1 member. So we can see the frustration. You can't see it because my camera is there, but we can see the happiness of G2 and Caps laughing there. I mean, he managed to roam without having teleport and be there almost at the same time as Nemesis did. So yeah, I think G2 just on a whole nother level with their macro play, with their gameplay, with the game plan as well, and they executed it so beautifully in this game that I really wanted to make a video on this. Now, if you're Fnatic, and you have almost have a 10k gold deficit. So what do you do? I think what they should have done in this game is play more around the bot side. Broxah should have definitely make sure that the bot lane doesn't get too far behind. In this game, Jinx is the one who's going to carry the game. Jinx has the most damage in this. She's the hyper carry. They have Lissandra mid lane or in top lane really, really well. A really good team to set up the Jinx. The issue is that if she falls behind for too much, she's not going to be useful in the game. And this is what we saw right now. And, games, plays like this is completely desperate here from Hylissang to go in here. Even if it's a 3v4 in favor of Fnatic, it's just a 4v4, but they don't see the Jace right now. So it's not going to work out. Ornn is low on HP and he has used his ultimate. And I mean, all of the G2 members that are here are the most fat members. So they are the strongest ones. Why would you want to force a fight against them? I mean, it's not working out. Hylissang is going in, without a real plan here. And he's eventually dying. All right. I mean, that's all. That's it. There wasn't much in this game left to analyze, I think. G2 managed to execute their game plans so well, and it was just beautiful to see. And I think that Fnatic could have avoided this. They could have, they gave away they made individual mistakes there in the bot lane, namely Hylissang getting caught 2 times there, and not having jungle presence at the bot lane as well. I mean, yeah, I think that we can all agree that G2 is really, really strong, and Fnatic needs to step up their game and, of course, be more reactive to the enemies. Thank you so much for watching. That was all for today. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to have another game that you want me to analyze, and let me know if you enjoyed this type of content. This is the first time that I'm doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.